Five Nights at Freddy's still good? The first game that originally launched in 2014 was an immediate hit and went on to spark almost a renaissance in the indie horror genre. So now after the release of 9 more games, 12 books, a possible movie in the works, as well as countless fan games, one question lingers: is the original game actually any good? That's a question I'm going to answer in this
7 minutes and 10 seconds
video, but what exactly does that mean? Well, if we throw away the nostalgia glasses and look at the game if it were released today, would it still be anywhere near as successful? This includes imagining a world where FNAF had never existed, so I won't be comparing the game to any of its sequels or any fan games. I'm looking at you, Flumpty. Basically, if a game only exists because of the Five Nights at Freddy's universe, it won't be talked about. That being said, I will be comparing it to other games that have come out in the indie horror space that aren't about animatronics coming to life and, well, killing you. So here we go, it's 2022, you just finished your playthrough of new hit indie horror game, Poppy Playtime, and a new game has appeared on Steam called Five Nights at Freddy's. It cost $4.99, so you figure, let's give it a shot. You load it up and things are not going great. Okay, I don't know about any of you guys, but loading this game up on Steam for the first time, I had a rough go of things. Game window kept randomly closing, and after reinstalling, sure, I got it running, but every time I tabbed out of the game, all my windows, including OBS, kept shifting around, which got really annoying while streaming the game. Anyways, you get the game running, and while your ears begin to bleed from the super loud menu, you desperately look for an options menu, only to realize there isn't one. Nope, you can't change game volume, screen resolution, or any graphics settings. Although at wit's ends, you lower volume in Windows and finally hit New Game. Yeah, things aren't really looking great for FNAF, really just a buggy and annoying experience at this point, but luckily, this is where things are about to change. So I played this game for the first time about a week ago. Sure, I had watched plenty of Let's Plays, but I never actually got around to playing the game myself, mostly because I didn't have a PC. Figured there'd be some mediocre jump scares, and I'd be going through the game like it was nothing. However, things went a bit differently. Over, I'd say, about the first 3 nights, I found myself genuinely scared. From phone guy telling you you're about to be stuffed into animatronic suit, to watching as Foxy slowly leaves his area, ready to run down the hall and get you just as everything's going well. There was something unsettling about the entire game. It wasn't all about jump scares like I had remembered. It had a genuinely scary environment. That combined with stressful gameplay, and you were constantly at the edge of your seat. Then night 4 comes, probably the weakest night of the entire game. This is where you really get a hang of the controls, and honestly, just like most horror games, you get used to the scare and the fear factor just wears off. However, that's what makes Five Nights at Freddy's different from most games, because as the game loses its ability to scare you, it transitions into a skill game. Come night 5, I'm no longer on my toes, worried about where the next jump scare is coming from, but instead I'm at the edge of my seat in full concentration mode, checking cameras, turning on lights, closing doors, and yelling at Bonnie to go away. Go away. Not because I'm scared, but because I just really want to beat this dumb game. Bonnie wouldn't go away. In my stream, which was around 3 hours long, I was able to get past night 5, but I only made it to around 5 AM once on night 6. Game became engaging in a whole new way, which I had not expected, and it honestly sets the game apart from a lot of other games in this space. If you are able to beat night 6, then another challenge awaits you. You unlock 420 mode, which ramps all 4 animatronics up to their hardest difficulty. It's something that I didn't even get to try, and I think if I did, I wouldn't make it to 2 AM. Now, I do need to compare this game to other indie horror games that have come out, because it's genuinely important to do so. This is what makes you choose whether you spend your money on this game or another game. And honestly, this game is super hard to beat, especially with that $5 price tag. Yeah, Phasmophobia is one game that comes to mind, but at $20, the game is really only worth it if, well, you have friends who also have the game. Pacify is another $5 game that offers a lot for its price. It has a good scare at first, but similar to FNAF, has really repetitive gameplay, but unlike Five Nights at Freddy's, it doesn't really ramp up in any difficulty. It just kind of gets tedious. Inscryption absolutely needs to be talked about. Sure, it's $10 more than FNAF, but it's also way more fleshed out, a much longer game, and admittedly, that game has a lot less actual, horror, but with a much longer playtime, I'd have a tough time recommending one over the other. I've already mentioned Poppy Playtime, which is $5 and without question is an absolute gem. But then I have to go back to something I mentioned earlier, because does Poppy Playtime even exist without FNAF? Now, this is purely speculation on my part, as I have no evidence to back it up, but toys coming alive, deep hidden lore in the game. Frankly, anyone who's played Poppy Playtime has been reminded of Five Nights at Freddy's in some way. I don't know if I can really use it in this conversation. At the end of the day, I think my answer is yes. FNAF does still hold up to this day, and although I'm not sure if it would skyrocket to the heights it has today, given the competition in the indie horror space, I also wouldn't completely rule it out. The game still has very deep lore, and the internet loves to grab hold of those things and just run wild. I really did have a good time playing Five Nights at Freddy's on stream. If you want to watch that, the VOD will be linked down in the description. Like I said, there were some frights, and then just honestly concentration on trying to beat the game. Thank you guys all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, definitely leave a like, and if you want to see more from me, subscribe. Are there any other games you want to know if they hold up today? Well, let me know down in the comments section. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.